Ladies and gentlemen, this is our featured contest, and we have come to it through impromptu means. It is the NWA Elite, the National Heavyweight Champion Shatter, and the Butcher Pyongyang Kimo. The opposition provided by Mikael Judas. And while I do not question a lot of things when it comes to the Priest of Punishment, in this case I have to. It is Mikael Judas and his partner, Caprice Coleman, who has just gotten through with a match with the international superstar Jimmy Rave and then was mugged by the NWA Elite. And yet, he's out here in the corner as Mikael Judas' partner. This might not be the smartest thing Caprice Coleman or Mikael Judas ever did.
Well, Greg Hunter, we're just 7 days away from Fright Night. Mikael Judas will take on Kimo, but I'm going to agree with you. Wait a minute. Oh, right there, a miscue on the part of the Elite. Now, Mikael Judas all over Kimo. And right there, the illegal man Shatter. And another miscue. The NWA Elite definitely not on their A game right now.
And this is what the team of Coleman and Judas needs. Coleman needs time to rest. Judas is going to have to carry the ball early on in this contest. And right now, he took his eyes off the national champ, and Shatter is making him pay for it.
Greg Hunter, during the break, I mean, it was very chaotic out here on the at ringside, trying to get these two teams separated, trying to get, some order restored as far as, who was going to start this matchup. And right now, Mikael Judas has Shatter on his end of the ring and tagging in Caprice Coleman.
Shatter ends up on the receiving end of Caprice Ice Coleman, and this is the first time in competition that Coleman and Shatter have faced off. This will be the first time Coleman gets a taste of the National Heavyweight Champion, and the first time the Universal Soldier can measure Caprice Coleman.
And Greg Hunter, Caprice Coleman looking good right now, taking it to the national champion, but give the national champion time. He'll make Caprice Ice Coleman wish he never opened his mouth.
Did you see what Shatter was trying? Oh, and right there, in the wrong part of town, in the NWA Elite corner. And referee Jeff McGowen has got his hands full. Caprice Coleman is where he does not want to be. Caprice Coleman on the floor at the mercy of the NWA Elite, and I assure you they have none. The national champion in the ring, he's got Coleman, and Coleman is by far the weakest man in this contest. And I do not mean that physically or in ability, I mean that in the punishment he has already taken tonight. First against Jimmy Rave, and then getting mugged by Kimo and the national champion.
And Greg Hunter, just to remind the fans, if you've just tuned in, or if you're wondering what's going on, this is our feature contest. It was scheduled to be the NWA Elite, Kimo and Shatter, against Mikael Judas and a mystery partner, or a partner of his choosing, excuse me. I don't know if he originally intended to be Caprice Coleman, but after making that save, I think he felt obliged to include Caprice Coleman in this match.
Well, there are worse picks he could make than Caprice Ice Coleman, but given the punishment that Coleman has taken thus far, I have to question the judgment of both Coleman and Judas. Why pick a partner who's already not only wrestled once tonight, but immediately before your contest, and then was brutally attacked? And if you're Coleman, why would you set foot in the ring against these men instead of trying to go back to the locker room and heal your wounds and scout out the national champion? Granted, I already know the answer to that question, which is Caprice Coleman, very emotional, very hot-headed, and he wants his hands on the NWA Elite right now in the worst possible way. He's not going to run away from a fight.
Well, Greg Hunter, two mysteries have been solved here tonight. Who was Mikael Judas going to choose as a partner? It was Caprice Coleman. The other mystery pertains to the World Television Championship at Fright Night. We now know it's going to be Sean Tempers defending that World Television Championship against Ace Rockwell in a last man standing match. That in 7 days, that and so much more. There's the Tag Team Mega Rumble. The tag team titles will be on the line. The winners of that Mega Rumble taking on Town and Money. We've got Mikael Judas and Kimo. We've got the World Television Championship and the Anarchy Heavyweight Championship.
Shadow Jackson and Jeremy Vane will face off for Vane's Anarchy Heavyweight title in a dog collar match. Folks, Fright Night 2009 is going to be an incredible evening. And right now, the crowd rallying behind Caprice Ice Coleman. Coleman fighting back against the national champ. He needs to make a tag for the Priest of Punishment in a bad, bad way. But right now, the Universal Soldier tags out to the Korean Assassin, the Butcher of Pyongyang, Kimo. And one thing we do have to think about in this contest, which puts Judas and Coleman at a distinct disadvantage. These two men, to my knowledge, have never been partners. Kimo and Shatter, the NWA Elite, are the former Anarchy Tag Team Champions.
And Greg Hunter, I don't care who you are, I don't care how accomplished you are as two singles. Whenever you come together as a team and you take on a team who's had the advantage of being a team in the past, especially former champions, that is so hard to overcome. You're already at a distinct disadvantage. And that's not to take away from Mikael Judas or from Caprice Coleman. That is just cold, hard facts.
Right now, Caprice Coleman on the receiving end of that chin lock. It is deafening here in the NWA arena. The NWA Elite trying to take the fight out of Caprice Coleman, and at the same time, the crowd out of this contest.
Now, Greg Hunter, there is one more mystery to be solved, and we may not find out until Fright Night, and that is what stipulation will Mikael Judas choose when he takes on Kimo here in 7 days.
Well, that is still to be discovered. Right now, Caprice Coleman is currently discovering what it is like to be on the receiving end of this iteration of the NWA Elite. Caprice Coleman is no stranger to dealing with Jeff G. Bailey. Jeff G. Bailey has been an evil mastermind in the NWA arena for a very long time. The NWA Elite was around in Wildside just like they are here in NWA Anarchy. But I don't think the NWA Elite ever had a variation quite as lethal. Wait a minute, inside cradle, 2! And only a 2 count. Big clothesline, down goes Coleman. As I was going to say, I don't believe the Elite has ever had as lethal a variation as it has here in the National Heavyweight Champion Shatter and the Butcher of Pyongyang.
Greg Hunter, I've known Jeff G. Bailey for quite some time now, and I had to agree with that statement. As we see Caprice Coleman take down Kimo and the Universal Soldier Shatter.
And Jeff G. Bailey is up on the apron. Jeff McGowen concerned with him. Coleman makes the tag. In comes the Priest of Punishment. Right hand, and now Jeff G. Bailey screaming to Jeff McGowen. Turn around, McGowen did not see the tag. Everybody in this building, except the guy in the striped shirt, saw the tag.
But Greg Hunter, 1 million people can see it. It doesn't matter. If the guy in the striped shirt doesn't see it, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter.
Well, that is Jeff G. Bailey for you. Agent attorney, manager extraordinaire. You have to give credit where it's due. And right now, thanks to the distraction of Jeff G. Bailey, the NWA Elite continues its assault on Caprice Ice Coleman.
Greg Hunter, Jeff G. Bailey's managerial expertise has rubbed off on so many greats in this sport of professional wrestling. He has managed men who have gone on to become NWA World Heavyweight Champions. He has managed men that have become the Anarchy Heavyweight Champion, the National Heavyweight Champion he manages right now, tag team titles, the World Television title, you name it. Jeff G. Bailey has always been able to lead his men to the Holy Grail.
All right, now, the crowd here in the Church of Southern Wrestling is trying to lead Caprice Coleman to his corner. But just that quickly, Kimo, who when he came here, give or take a year ago, Kimo was not a professional wrestler. And I think at his core, he's still not. Kimo was a trained fighter, a soldier, an assassin, as says his nickname, that moniker, the Korean Assassin. the Butcher of Pyongyang. But being around Jeff G. Bailey and the Universal Soldier. Oh, wait a second. Looking for the spike power driver. Michael Judas has seen enough. Judas kick. He catches the Butcher of Pyongyang. Choke slam. And there is a spear out of the Universal Soldier.
And right now, Kimo looking a little worse for wear, something that we're not used to seeing, but so is Michael Judas, and now Caprice Coleman being set up for PTSD.
The post-traumatic stress disorder, where he's blocking the power bomb. Shoulder to the midsection. Coleman, that's life! Coleman hooks the leg. 2, 3!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of this match, the Priest of Punishment, Michael Judas, and Caprice Coleman.
Caprice Coleman has just pinned the National Heavyweight Champion.
Greg Hunter, this whole building's in shock.
This building erupted.
And Jerry Palmer's out here as well. I'm not quite sure what he's doing out here.
Wait a minute! Are you telling me that Caprice Coleman, he just beat the NWA National Heavyweight Champion on live television?
On national TV!
He just beat the NWA National Heavyweight Champion on live television! Just beat the NWA National Yeah, come on and get beat again! Please do! You know, I've been back there trying to finish out the card for Fright Night. Caprice Coleman, number 1, welcome back to the NWA Arena. And the match, if you will accept it, the match at Fright Night will be against Phil Shatter for the NWA National Heavyweight title. The garbage is that we can't put the belt on him right now. That's the only garbage I hear. But Jeff, unfinished business. Every good meeting goes with new business and old business. Old business is Michael Judas has made a decision on his stipulation for his match against your guy at Fright Night. I would personally rather him have gone a different direction, but let me lay it out for you. If your guy wins, if this monster wins, you get something you've been after ever since he left you. He wins, and I will hand deliver you Michael Judas's contract, and you will have the one-man mafia back in the NWA Elite. As you can see, he has zero intentions of that being the case. I'm not a fan of the idea. It's his choice. But he had a good flip side. If Michael Judas wins, when Michael Judas wins, what you got in your pocket? What you got in your pocket, Jeff? I get that for 35 days. Which basically means when Michael Judas wins, I get the services of this monster for 35 days. Jeff, please make sure that thing is washed, because I don't want to carry a dirty mask around for 35 days while I command him to do the things I need him to do. Caprice Coleman, welcome back and good luck on Friday night. Michael, I would like nothing more than to tote that mask around in my pocket for 35 days. And Jeff, I'm just going to make a list on how I want to take it off, on who I want to take it off first for, and I think I'm looking at him.